expect a lot from our landscapes. In the Yahara, we expect it to provide our food, we expect it to provide fresh water, opportunities for recreation. So we expect a lot, and not any one place can provide everything. Our landscapes have a lot of variety in them. It's almost like a patchwork quilt. If you think about flying from an airplane, if you take off from the Madison airport and you look down, you see different patches of different kinds of habitats. And all of those habitats and the different array of them provide different benefits that we all get. So we call those ecosystem services. One of the things that we were interested in is figuring out where are the trade-offs or what compromises do we need to make if we're trying to get a lot of different things out of our landscape.
So one major trade-off we find from this research is that so in agriculture, especially in the intensively management agriculture areas, there's a trade-off between crop production and also the quality of both surface as well as the groundwater.
One of the things that we found is that there might be particular places in the Yahara watershed where just removing a little bit of the agriculture could give us a big improvement in the water quality because it reduces the inputs, or it helps the vegetation trap those inputs and prevent them from getting into the lake.
The overarching message is that we wanted to manage our landscape holistically, and also we wanted to pay special attention to the opportunities where we can make small tweaks to our landscapes to make sure like we can get the most bang from our buck in terms of the landscape management and conservation.
So when we think about our landscapes and the benefits they give us, we sometimes forget about the city, about the urban areas, but that's actually where most people interact with nature on a day-to-day basis. And specifically in the Yahara region, over 25% of that landscape is developed.
So what we wanted to do was understand what are those benefits that our city is providing. And then, given that it's a place where we make many, many little decisions about what we do in our lands, what can we do to enhance the ecosystem services in the city?
One of the things that we're actually finding so far is that it's not just places like parks or the Arboretum that provide benefits to us. It's actually the places that we live, our neighborhoods as well. So for example, people's front yards, backyards store incredibly high amounts of carbon, which helps with things like climate change. And older neighborhoods actually store more carbon than younger ones, which means this is a benefit that will continue through time. And so when we're thinking about the city, we need to focus on all different types of green spaces and not just on kind of trying to restore more natural areas.
And so managing the landscape holistically is a really important part of the equation when we think about going to the future. And that's because no one of the patches in the quilt can provide everything that we want. We need a whole portfolio, or we need the whole quilt really to get the benefits that we want out of it. And so as we look forward, we can adjust that patchwork. We can change the pattern of it, we can change the colors of it. And what we're really hoping to do is figure out how we can manage our landscape in a way that helps buffer us against the changes that we might not want to see. So as climate warms, for example, how much benefit can we get by making changes in our landscape that will help us 20 or 30 or 40 years out into the future?
We probably wanted to work collectively with diverse stakeholders, decision makers, researchers, as well as the general public to enhance the effectiveness of policy and management actions, and also to ensure the sustainability of nature's benefits for both current and future generations.
Something that's really important to me is that we focus not just on kind of agriculture or natural areas, but on the areas where we live and work and play every day, and that kind of helping to foster that connection between people and nature where they live can really have broader implications for creating more sustainable landscapes in the future.
So in terms of so what does that mean here? It means that we do need to think at the big scale, at the big picture. We also need to think over the longer time frame. We have to recognize that systems are changing and that what we do today can have impacts long into the future. And then lastly, that there really are ways that we can be efficient. We can get the greatest bang for our buck by being heads up about where we target the different actions that we or management activities on our landscape to improve our water, to improve the other things that we count on.